G'day world, Chris Hogan coming to you live from Myriad 2018, thanks to Australian Landing Pads. And I'm here with Colette Grgic, Chief Innovation Officer for BlueChilli. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Fantastic. And so, tell us about BlueChilli and what a CIO does.
Oh, what doesn't a CIO do? So BlueChilli is a startup accelerator and investor. So we invest in really early stage ideas with really strong founders that have subject matter expertise in an area. We help them build their first products and launch it into markets in 12 weeks. So get it out of their idea, out of that napkin, into the real world with customers in 12 weeks. We give them some pre-seed funding and follow-on funding. And then we help them partner with corporates and scale.
Fantastic. Okay. And so what's some of the companies, I guess, what's the most common challenge that you find companies have when they come into BlueChilli?
Most commonly, I think, understanding how to really validate an idea and having that perspective from somebody telling them, actually, what you think is validation is really 20% of what validation really is.
You mean market validation?
Yeah, market validation. Going out, getting punched in the face, getting the yeses and the nos from the customers. It's hard especially for first-time founders. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, punched in the face. Yeah, so it does certainly builds resilience, right? Because sometimes can be a lot of no's and, oh, maybe it'll be better if you did this.
Yeah, and it's a challenge, and I say that with respect to the fact that we help people build product. Building a product is not always the solution, I think building a product sometimes creates a shield for people and they go and stand behind that and be like, all I need is an awesome product. I'm like, no, what you need is a customer who says yes to your solution, not necessarily just a product.
Because you can't build a market.
Yes, a product without a market is a clutter.
You can educate a market, but you can't build a market. Okay. Yeah. So, and how long have you been part of BlueChilli?
So I've been with BlueChilli for about 5 years. Before that, I had accidentally started a startup unintentionally in the peer-to-peer travel market space after spending some time traveling myself. And then after we, got a little team together, raised some seed funding from an investor in Shanghai. Interesting. And then built the company up and shut it down after 14 months when we realized that for every dollar you put in, you lose $1.30 because the mechanics of the marketplace just weren't ever going to work.
That was a fail fast example right there.
14 months, but yeah, I probably could have failed a little bit faster if I had somebody, really pushing me to validate that faster and harder.
Okay. So hence why you would have probably appreciated somebody like a company like BlueChilli to help you figure that out sooner.
Hindsight. Yeah. So then I went and did a startup inside a corporate, so helping a corporate launch venture from inside the company, which was a really eye-opening experience as to how big companies think about innovation and how they approach it and how there's really this opportunity for startups and corporates to work together because it's hard when you try and do it in isolation as a startup and it's hard when you try and do it in isolation as a corporate. So when I joined BlueChilli after that, working with about 40 other companies in the portfolio, I really started seeing that there was this, the value of death is the lack of collaboration. That's really what it comes down to, because if we can make that faster and easier for big companies and startups to collaborate effectively, then the timeline between getting into a market and really actually seeing if the company is going to go anywhere is shorter, and I think that's better for both sides. So that's what I spent the last couple of years doing at BlueChilli, is building out accelerators that bring together big companies that really have that access to market and distribution and access to the customers with startups who can iterate fast and build solutions that really serve a purpose for those customers, and bringing those two together during the accelerators.
Great, so that's how big companies are doing innovation, but are innovating by bringing these small, nimble companies in to help solve, I guess, niche problems in their business.
Yeah.
Or
they're not
for their customers.
They're not necessarily even niche. A lot of the times what we find is big companies will come to us and say, look, we've identified, strategically, these are the 5 areas that we need to grow in, or 5 problems we need to solve for our customers. But how, and how do you do that 20 times over? Because you can make one big bet, or you can make lots of little small bets and see which ones actually really work. And that's really when they come to us and say, look, can you help us work with startups to actually do that? And it's really exciting and it's magical to see when that happens and it works, because I think when you look at all the different parts in Australia, you look at research, and you look at startups, and you look at corporates, like we're really good individually at what we do. The talent is there in all of those areas, but the sum isn't greater than the parts, which tells me that the collaboration isn't there. So that's really something that I'm focused on fixing, because I think if we can do that, we can build a much bigger, stronger ecosystem as a whole where everybody accelerates their outcomes.
Fantastic. And so helping people go global, is that something you guys do?
Yeah, so in one of our accelerators, so we've got a number of different accelerator programs, and one of them is the She Starts Accelerator program, where we specifically focus on female founders. So last year I had the pleasure of visiting the landing pads over in San Francisco, taking the founders over there. And I think it's, a lot of companies get to that stage where they go, really, we need to start thinking about our growth and what's next, and especially when it comes to capital and fundraising. And if we can't figure out how to collaborate in Australia, they're going to go and look how to collaborate abroad. And it's healthy, I think, to have that. So a lot of those companies go over there, but then you kind of land in the middle of a city and you go, now what? So access to networks, access to people who can connect you into companies there, understanding even just the culture and the landscape and how business is done in a different part of the world, I think is super valuable and super important for us to do. So it's necessary. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so can you give us some examples of maybe, or case studies of customers of yours, so startups that you've helped?
Yeah, so we've got 113 companies in the portfolio, and it's always hard when somebody goes, so give me the best one, and you're like, maybe I love my children equally. But as part of when we took the... No, I love my children. But one of the companies that we took over as part of the She Starts program, when they went over there, was able to meet with they're a group that works with helping urban and city planners and city makers work with big data sets to better understand what they really need to be doing in their cities. And they were able to meet with a bunch of companies and city and municipalities to actually go, this is what we're doing. And it turned out what we were doing in Australia was actually really innovative and solving a problem for people in San Francisco.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, someone did say that we are a fantastic testing pool, and that we're 1% of, a global market.
Yeah, it's like growing tomatoes, I say. It's always the ones that grow on the rocky outcrop somewhere where, it's dry and it's dirty, and it's like those tomatoes taste really good. So I think we have an advantage in that in Australia.
I didn't know that about tomatoes. There you go. Okay, so you're a keen gardener as well. Well, thanks very much, Colette. That's been fantastic. And how do people stay abreast of what BlueChilli are up to?
So they can look us up on BlueChilli.com. We've got a number of programs that we run, including City Connect for smart cities-based startups, She Starts for female founders, and Accelerate, which is our program backed by Coca-Cola Amatil, which is looking at the future of how we do business.
And it looks like that you might be going on maternity leave soon. Is there anybody else that they might want to connect with in your company?
We've got a very friendly. So we've, like I mentioned, about 30 of us at BlueChilli. There's a lot of friendly folks out there. The best way to get a hold of us is on Twitter. So at BlueChilli Group on Twitter. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Ping us anytime. hello@bluechilli.com. Somebody is definitely going to get back to you and point you to the right person to look at.
So if you're an early stage startup, a little bit uncertain,
yep,
get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear your ideas and figure out if we can actually help you get them into the world.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for watching. We're live on facebook.com/Beach City Life from Myriad 2018. Thanks to our branded content partners, Australian Landing Pads.